Hello everyone! Happy Easter to those who are celebrating today, and happy Sunday to everyone. This is Sarah Small. I think you all know me with Autoimmune Tribe, and we're gonna have a little party tonight. Do a little encore of the intuitive games. I hope that was really fun for you guys this week. We had really great participation. It was really a lot of fun for me to be able to host that experience for you and just provide you the platform to tap into your intuition and see how powerful you are. And I mentioned this in the How to Feel into Auras live stream as well, but just because you didn't get the answers right on any of those 3 intuitive game card reading posts does not mean that you're not intuitive. It does not mean that you are a really strong empath. It may mean that you have your strength in a different place. And so I just think it's so important to mention that we all have different strengths within our intuition, and Intuitive Soul School is going to help you figure out, where is my strength? Is it visual? Is it feeling? Is it knowing? Is it hearing? Is it smelling? Is it tasting? Where are your intuitive strengths and how do they manifest in your body? So that was so much fun this week, and today I just wanted to take a little bit of time to play around with you guys a little bit more, practice using intuition. We're going to do a meditation, just a short meditation on receiving source energy so that you can open yourself up even deeper to receive intuitive downloads and channel energy. And then I got some amazing questions from you on what are your deepest fears around intuition, around trusting your intuition, and about being or becoming empath, okay? Hello, beautiful, back to you. So I just wanted to start with some card readings. And sorry, my dog is right below me and she really wants to join the party. It's okay, honey. So, if you're an empath and you're listening, you probably love animals as much as I do. It's okay, sweetie. There's not enough room up here for you. You can try. Do you want to try? I don't think she's going to fit right there. So, I'm going to draw 3 cards. This is the name of the game. Seriously. Don't do that. She's crazy. We're going to draw 3 cards, and I'm going to ask you guys to choose one. Well, we'll call them 1, 2, and 3, okay? A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to show you card number 1, and I want you to tell me after I show you 1, 2, and 3, which one is most calling your name? Which one do you feel most connected to? Which one did you feel something in your body? Which one were you like, oh yeah, that's my card, okay? So I'm going to start to shuffle, and on your end, all I want you to do is to close your eyes, or if you can't close your eyes right now, just start to tune inside your body and hold some space to receive the message that you most need to receive tonight, okay? Couple deep breaths. So we're going to call this card number 1. You feel it? You got it? Next is card 2. Here it is. It's upside down for me. And card number 3. Okay, I'm going to hold them up one more time. Card 1, card 2, card 3. All right, put into the comments which card do you choose, 1, 2, or 3. And usually I just dive right into reading interpreting the cards for you, because you're going to get a reading from the card that you chose. But because we're also working on strengthening your intuition, I want you to think about, what do you feel into that number that you chose? The number of the card, okay? Why did you pick that one? How does your body know that that was the right card for you? Did you feel it in your belly? Did you get a little tingle in your chest, maybe a little bubble in your throat? Did you just know? Was it just clear? You were like, yes? Did you feel like the imagery of the card was, even though they're the same, right? They each have a different energy, but did you feel it? And were you like, yes, that was it? 1, 2, or 3. Felt so close to 2. Perfect. So think about that a little bit. And now I'm going to start interpreting card number 1. Doesn't look like anyone chose number 1 yet, but we're still going to read it. So this card is here and now. Here's the picture, so you can kind of see in your own eyes. If you're listening to the recording and you chose number 1, what in this card are you drawn to? What about this card means something to you? Okay, so again, it's just simple here and now, and there's kind of like this girl sitting on this little egg. She's got the past, and then she's got the future, okay? The answer is already inside of you on what message this card has for you, but I'm going to expand and expound upon it today, just so that we can start to practice a little bit more, okay? Awesome. Felt tingling in my core and feet. Just know it's meant for someone beautiful. Here a few minutes late. I have to jump off early. No problem. We just picked 3 cards, and I'm interpreting number 1 first. And number 1, again, is here and now. This card is about being present in the most simple of terms. You can see it in the imagery of this card, and probably if you were drawn to this card, you are either really just thinking about the future. Maybe you're really it's the first of the month. You might be setting your goals today, and you're really future thinking, forward thinking, or you are reflecting on the past a lot and thinking about old things that have happened, energies that you're still holding on to. And so regardless of which end of the spectrum you're on, you may have a hard time really focusing in on this present moment, how you're feeling right now. So we don't have time to go too deep into these cards today, but the main message here is to focus on even just breathing. And we're going to meditate after I read these cards, so that'll help too. But just breathing, but being with your breath as you breathe, as present as you can be today. Okay? That's card number 1. Card number 2, we had a few people pick number 2. How do you say it? Raimonda. Raimonda? Did I say that correctly? Raimonda? You picked number 2. Let's see what it has to say, okay? So this card is exchanging gifts. Okay, I know they're a little hard to see with the reflection. So you can kind of see this, she reminds me of the Nutcracker dolls. For some reason, but she's like a fairy coming out of this box, and then there is like this kind of leopardy cat here with her as well. Okay, so it's a really pretty card. To me, this represents, there's the literal gift in this picture as well, and she's, coming out of it, and the energy behind this is very feminine. First of all, you can see the pink, right? Again, I want you to think about, what do you see in this card first? How does it feel in your body? What parts of the imagery jump out to you? But it feels very feminine. It also feels very, yeah, it is pretty, isn't it? That there's this exchange, and you can see this cat. Again, I consider like feline cat to be like very feminine energy as well, and then there's like this fairy, which again, really feminine, but this exchanging of gifts. And so it may be that there is someone in your life that you can both gain something from each other. You can both learn something from each other, and it may be a really beautiful time for you to collaborate with somebody. Or for some reason, I'm also feeling like there may be somebody in your life who just needs a little extra love, and you have the ability to give that love to them and share that love with them. Not necessarily through a literal gift, but maybe if you are at the store and you see something and you're like, oh my God, so-and-so would love that, it's a sign for you to actually pick that gift up for them. But tapping a little more into the feminine side here, I think it's also this message to receive gifts too. So feminine is receiving. So you may be really, really naturally a good gift giver, in giving of love, but I want you to remember to also let yourself receive some of those gifts too. Okay? Next is number 3. Number 3, we had some people pick number 3 as well. Rachel, Michelle, awesome. Okay, so number 3 is loyal heart. So there's 2 owls facing each other, looking at each other in the picture. They're kind of on this like egg/dome shape, and then there's a heart on it as well. You can see into the colors of the card, the symbolism of the animals in the card. Yeah, okay. So again, what do you feel in this card? What does this mean to you? What do you feel like the message is if you picked number 3? Loyal heart to me is also wise, okay? And I see that in the owls to me, and in symbolism the owl is the wise owl, right? For some reason I just thought of the owl from Winnie the Pooh. But there is this, if you are someone who resonates with past lives, this to me feels like this ancient past life within you that was very, very wise, like this wise soul. And it wouldn't surprise me if you've been called someone who is an old soul. Have you guys been, if you picked number 3, have you ever been called an old soul before? I feel like you are just like this wise, loyal, genuine person at the core, at the soul level. I don't want to say danger, that's the word that came to my head, but I can't think of a better one right now. So the danger in that, maybe caution. The caution I want you to have is just that you might be someone who needs a little bit of extra help protecting your energy. Someone who has so much to offer the world, but forgets sometimes to take care of themselves because they have so much to give. Kind of like the feminine energy in card number 2 as well. But you have this inner teacher inside of you and a light to truly shine and share with this world. So that is message number 3. All right? How do you guys feel about that? Card number 1, 2, 3. That's part 1 of our party tonight. So I'd love to see how those cards resonated with you. And then now we are going to do a little meditation, part 2 of our party, on-card party tonight. This meditation is one for you to receive source energy, channel energy into your body, and become more open to receive. So I want you guys to just find a comfortable seat or close your eyes. And sit tall through your spine. And first, I just want you to get any kinks out, all right? Maybe shrug your shoulders. You might take a little twist safely in your body. Okay? So fidget all the fidgets out and then get still. You'll place your palms up on top of your thighs or the floor if you're laying down. Calling in spirit guides, universal source energy, rainbow beings, all that is and was, past loved ones, the grandmothers and grandfathers and ancient ones, all those that can help us receive more energy today and be more open to receiving the most divine and supportive healing messages in our body. So I want you to start to call in your own guides, spirit, whatever name you put to that, because this starts to become your own practice. So use the words that feel best for you. Call them in to help you. And when you call them in, I just want you to notice if anything in your body changes. Maybe you feel a sense of warmth on your arms or your chest or your back or your shoulders. Maybe there's a little ringing in your ears, a clicking in your jaw, a rumble in your belly, a tingle on the top of your head. And just be a witness to how your body feels, all of its sensations right here, right now. I want you to take your internal gaze up and in towards your third eye center. I want you to visualize this white light, shimmery, bright white light in your third eye. And I want you to let all of the physical surroundings in your environment begin to fade away, almost as if you're being lifted or levitated off the ground or surface that you're on. So now there's no longer any things, material things around you, and simply you are just surrounded by this white light. It's all you can see in all directions. And I want you to just feel the sensations of that light. How does it feel? Notice if there's any fear. Notice if there's any hesitation or questioning. And start to shift your thoughts towards divine trust, knowing that you are safe, that you are loved and supported. We ask that anything that is not here to support us, please leave now. And then we open ourselves up to receive that which is of the highest good, that can be integrated in the most easy way today. And I want you to see all of this white light that shimmers and sparkles start to spiral around you. And then it's going to shoot up into the sky. And it's going to dance around in the clouds. And as it starts to come back down to earth, to your earthly body, it's bringing with it any of those messages that you need to receive. And I want you to see this white light start to enter into the palm of your left hand. The center of your palm, this white light enters and you feel it rush through your fingers, your palm, up your arm, to your elbow, your shoulder, and then it starts to find every little crease and wrinkle in your body. And this is a healing light, a safe light, and one of divine wisdom. One that helps you connect deeper to your higher self and any messages your guides have for you this evening. And again, feel the sensations in your body, any even random thoughts that might come up into your mind. And then notice if there's any little bumps, any more of those fears, any more of those hesitations, any more of those questioning yourself. And I want you to see all of those thoughts that don't serve you start to rush out of your right palm. So they come down your right arm to your elbow, to your forearm, to your wrist, and then out your right palm, being sent out of your body and recycled back into the universe. And then just see this constant flow of white light entering your left palm, bringing you support and love and healing today. And then all that no longer serves you, like this black cloud, coming out of your right hand. And just see this cycle. In, breathe in, and then out, breathe out. Breathe in, visualize the white light coming in the left. Breathe out, visualize the black leaving the right. And just take about 10 more breaths here with this visualization. more deep breath. I just want you to close your hands, close your palms. And then bring your hands to heart center. Offering your gratitude out into the world, out into the universe for everything that came up today. And for feeling the support of source energy. Keep this new white light expanding within you and without you as you attune your energy more to that of the protected empath. You can bow forward. Namaste. Okay. Let me know how that felt in your body after a little meditation. If anything came up specifically for you as you're meditating, what it felt to have the white light enter and let the black darkness exit your body. How did that feel in your soul? Do you feel any more clear or maybe open or protected now? Let me know. Okay? Now, part 3, I am going to answer your questions on being an empath and intuition. And you had some really good questions, so I'm going to dive right in. The first question is from Angelica. She left her question because she knew she wouldn't be able to be here live. So I appreciate you leaving your question anyways, Angelica. She wrote, do these abilities become stronger as we grow our intuition and start connecting more with our higher self? My simple answer is yes, absolutely yes. You definitely start to it's possible, and you will strengthen your intuition or grow your intuition, whatever word you want to use, as you start to practice more. I can tell you that my personal intuition and connection to my higher self and universal energy has exponentially grown even in just the past 3 years. Like, I felt like I was an empath who didn't know what the hell to do with being an empath other than I knew I was sensitive, to now being able to like seriously harness this energy and use it to be super powerful in this world, on this planet. So yes, the more you practice and get intentional about what it means to be an empath, how you can use this power, again, tapping into what is my strength within the Claires, you can see exponential quantum leaps in your intuition. And it's so much fun, you guys. And I really provide this platform for it to be fun instead of being scary. This is a very safe, supported place. It is a place for you to shed the fear of tapping into your intuition, instead feeling really confident, supported, and secure and trusting your intuition. So my short answer there is yes, definitely it does get stronger. She has more to this question though. I have been doing a lot of personal growth and have noticed with retrograde and full moon, I have been extremely sensitive the last few days, like almost bawling uncontrollably as I drove past teachers who were picketing on a corner the other day. Pretty big issues here going on in Oklahoma with teacher walkout and outpour of support because they deserve so much more. Totally understand the walkout. And Facebook has almost been too much lately as well. I have to keep asking myself, is this mine? And finally gain control. It's been heavy. So yes. I will say, so there's kind of two questions here. The first is that she's feeling more sensitive. And I absolutely resonate with that. I think that when you become more energetically in tune and in line with the universe and just energy around you, you're going to become more sensitive and aware. Maybe sensitive's not I feel like when we say sensitive, it's this negative thing. A stronger, more empowering word, maybe you become more aware of the energies around you and your surroundings. And I think this is actually really beautiful as long as you are able to protect yourself through that process. So for example, as I was able to open up my intuition and continue to open up my intuition, I am very sensitive, extremely sensitive to, for example, chemicals. All chemicals. I eat all organic food, unless I'm in like a desperate place where I like can't find it or something, or traveling. But for the most part, I eat organic food because I want to avoid any sort of pesticides on my food. I also, when I travel, and this is one of those moments where you can't really avoid chemicals, when I stay in a hotel, I try to check ahead of time now, but I used to not check ahead of time, and I would sleep in the hotel bed, which was granted comfortable. It was always a cushy, comfy bed. The pillows were always like nice and feather pillows. But they use this strong ass detergent and like bleach on their sheets. And I absolutely cannot tolerate that. I've woken up in hives way too many times. One time I actually had almost like, it felt like a hole was burning through my eyelid. I had this big raw red spot after waking up in a hotel bed because my body became so sensitive to some of these chemicals. I also am sensitive to energy. So the energy of everything. I think chemicals are just like a really drastic example because they're chemicals, but also I feel really energetically affected by people, by even the energy of like homes that I visit, of friends' homes that I go to, restaurants, buildings that I'm in. And again, this can be really beautiful because you can find guidance in that, but you just have to know maybe why you are feeling this way. Angelica, if you're listening to the recording later, I'd also wonder if your menstrual cycle flows with the moon. And if it does flow with the moon, I think it'd be really powerful for you to actually utilize that and take advantage of that and create it as a power. Because you said with retrograde and the full moon, you were feeling especially sensitive. So notice if there's actually different parts of the month where you're feeling more sensitive than others, and you might actually see a very regular pattern and cycle within your sensitivity that you can then know that, oh, it's a full moon, like that's where the word lunatic came from, you guys, like this feeling crazy around the moon time and how our energies are affected by the moon. So many of you probably also feel affected by the moon, and curious to know if your cycle does flow with the moon, Angelica, because I think that would be really powerful for you. Okay, and then she also mentioned Facebook, and for me it's the news, and I just want to give you all permission to even though, because you're listening and you're an empath, you probably want to change the world, and you probably feel really passionate. You're probably an activist of some kind. You are passionate about like nonprofit organizations or charitable causes or healing animals or reducing poverty or protecting and compensating teachers in a more fair way. But I'm giving you permission to also step back from that sometimes and not make everything in the world your problem. You are only responsible for yourself, and although I do encourage and support people becoming informed citizens, educated citizens, I also think that it's okay for our energy to step back from that sometimes, whether it's social media or the news or whatever gets you overwhelmed. It's okay to take a step back. And if you feel like you're unable to, maybe you work in that industry, probably a lot of you do. I used to. It's also okay, even if you can't, not go to work on the weekends, try to detach yourself from it. You're immersed in it all week long. Take a step back on the weekends, really put work away, if that's your workplace, and do the things that refuel you so that you can go back and energized on Monday. Amy wanted to know about the difference between an empath and a narcissist. And this is a really good question. There's actually a huge difference. And I just remembered I actually found two really good Elephant Journal. Do you guys know Elephant Journal? Elephant Journal articles. One is 30 traits of a narcissist, and the other one is traits of an empath. So I want you to read these or just, scan them so you can see some of the bullet points on what are the traits of an empath versus a narcissist. So I'm going to drop both of these links into the comments. My computer's just going a little slow. There we go. Okay, so you guys should see those there in a second. And here's my opinion, the way I would describe it. So empath takes on other people's feelings, and typically this makes them feel super compassionate, and they're amazing healers. Whereas the narcissist is ego-driven. It is not about other people. It is about them all the time. Even if they're helping people, they're going to tell you all about it, because it's not about it's not selfless, right? There is motivation to them helping people. My computer's getting low battery, I gotta plug it in. So the empath is more likely to like hide after helping people, or feel like they need to go close in on themselves, or just kind of escape the world, or they're just not going to brag about it, right? Whereas the narcissist is going to be like, let me tell you all about all the things I did today. So the interesting thing here is that often empaths will attract narcissists as romantic relationship partners. Yeah. Has anyone done that before? As an empath, have you had a narcissist as a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, partner, whatever? The narcissist, and let me tell you a little bit about why this happens. So the narcissist is usually someone who typically in childhood, something happened that made them feel not worthy, that made them feel not valuable. And they weren't validated as a child. Maybe they didn't receive enough love from their parents. And so now, as an adult, they are craving, seeking, desperate for validation. They make it all about them because they haven't been acknowledged. So the empath is like, oh my God, I see you, I hear you, I want to hold you like a baby and rock you back and forth, and I want you to feel all better, and I know I'm an amazing healer because I'm an empath. I can totally take care of you. So even if the empath is not consciously aware of that, and they won't be consciously aware of that if they don't have strong boundaries and tools to protect their energy, they will easily connect with a narcissist to try and fix them. Again, this is a limiting belief. You are actually not responsible for fixing anyone, and you cannot fix anyone. So regardless, the empath will think that they can fix and repair this person, that they can take away all their pain, and that they can heal them. This often happens where an empath will attract a narcissist, but more specifically an addict, into their life because they see this person who's struggling with addiction, and the empath so badly wants to help and heal this person. So what happens sometimes, again, this is generalizing, is that the empath doesn't realize that they just attracted a narcissist into their life. The narcissist loves it, because they're going to take all the energy from that empath. They're going to take, because they want to be validated. They want more, they want more, and they want more. And they're like not just energy vampires, they're like energy suckers. Like I'm imagining like a vacuum cleaner where they have like this vacuum cleaner that's like sucking all the energy out of this person, because they're like, oh my God, this is what I've been searching for so long. And the empath is completely drained and can start to feel broken, right? So narcissist manipulating the empath who just wants to help and just wants to heal the world, but then it becomes this control and power struggle between the empath and the narcissist. And the empath's like, my freaking priorities here are to love and to show compassion and to heal people because I'm a natural healer. And eventually what happens, and I'm not totally answering your question, Amy. I did in the beginning, right? The difference between them, but I think this is a beautiful kind of just natural transition to talk about how these two actually attract each other, and how they are very, very different. But what happens is eventually the empath has to make this choice, whether like, am I going to be this victim to energy sucking, or am I going to create strong, soulful boundaries and maybe step away from this, or step really far away from this to find myself again, because you can get lost you can lose yourself in trying to help other people. Okay? So that was a really good question. Thank you so much for asking that question, Amy. Nikki asked, taking on all that emotion and becoming overwhelmed. So this is what she was struggling with as far as feeling like an empath. Okay, I have all these emotions and I get really overwhelmed by it. So this is really where it's important for you to protect your energy. There are many tools to do this. You can go listen to podcast episode number 4, and I have 7 tools for empath protection that are very specific and will help you. But I also think that in order to not become so overwhelmed from taking on other people's energy, it's important to connect to your body. And to really, you're becoming a witness of yourself. So if you had this like little mirror, or you just stepped outside of yourself and looked down on yourself, you would see, when I'm taking on other people's stuff, what does it feel like in my body? And it also allows you, from this bird's eye view, to say, okay, how does Sarah feel right now? Versus what is everyone else's stuff that I'm just carrying. So my point here is body awareness, so that you can feel when something is yours versus when something is not yours. Okay? And then also protecting energy, creating boundaries. I think these really go together. But protecting your energy, but creating boundaries. And creating boundaries means that if you know there's a situation, an environment, even a relationship that is very overwhelming for you as empath, you're allowed to say no. And I think so many of us are afraid of that, afraid of saying no, afraid of seeming bitchy or mean or something. And it's so important to be able to say no regardless of that, and create these boundaries that are going to make you feel alive instead of like all the energy in life is being sucked out of you. And lastly, just here for Nikki, rest. Empath does not automatically mean introvert, but oftentimes empath does mean that you need some time alone to recharge. So take that time to ball up into a little ball, get into your hole, get into your safe place, go and do the things that allow you to actually rest and recharge your batteries so that you don't ever feel completely drained and burnt out. Cool? Next question was from Erin. Her struggle as an empath was believing in herself and in her intuition, trusting herself and her intuition. Okay? So I will say here that it gets way easier if you practice regularly. If you decide once a year that you want to tap into your intuition, or you want to listen to your intuition, it's going to be much, much harder than if you have a regular practice and support group for your intuition. If you are constantly tuning in, if you are taking the time to pull oracle cards and practice using your intuition. There's many, many ways to do this, but the more that you do it, the more confident you're going to feel, the more you're going to believe in yourself, and the more that you're going to trust yourself. So Intuitive Soul School, which I'll get to at the end here, is literally all about this. It is all about creating the space and platform for you guys to have to practice and build your confidence in your intuition, awaken the inner superpowers that you all have. Bobby asks, in comments actually, dark entities freak me out. A junkie spirit tried to latch onto me and I was unresponsive with my eyes open. I fell on my butt and it took a while for me to come back. I don't like when that kind of stuff happens. It makes me want to put on the blinders. Yes, okay. I understand that it can be scary sometimes, and I completely honor that. Again, this course is a lot about how it doesn't have to be scary and how to protect your energy. And Bobby, for you, I would also direct you to episode 4 of my podcast, which describes those 7 tools for empath protection. But also, I think sometimes we get so caught up in making that bubble that like we try to make things bounce off of that can never be perfect. And I talk about this in episode 4 too, where I do like the visualization of a bubble to help protect your energy. However, we have to remember that like everything is fluid, and sometimes it's less about never feeling that darkness and never feeling some of the just uncomfortable things, and instead letting them surface and then just letting them go. Boom, they're there, bam, they're gone. Does that make sense? So again, indicator to me that you probably need more tools to protect your energy, but also knowing that you can always let go of what does surface. And then I would try some crystals as well. So some specific examples and suggestions I have for crystals here would be black tourmaline, one of my favorites. And if you feel like this is happening in your home a lot, in your workplace a lot, or just everywhere with you. So if it's in your home, you could actually put black tourmaline in the corners of your house. If it's just everywhere you're going, maybe you put it on a necklace and you carry one in your pocket. Some black tourmaline is a good grounding crystal. Malachite is another one. Malachite's a really pretty green crystal. It's a green color, so it's also heart chakra and good to help you start to detach any sort of energetic cords. And then black kyanite is actually recommended for empaths because it acts as a sword to slice. Is that how you say sword? Chop? Slice? Whatever you do with a sword. Any sort of unhealthy attachment or energetic ties. So those energy vampires, you can bring out your sword and be like, you better fuck off, energy vampires. I got my black kyanite today. And that's going to help you protect your energy field as well. Misty asked, I have a tendency to feed off of others' negative emotions, meaning if someone is down and negative about something in their lives, I just want to try and help and be a good friend, and then I end up feeling as shitty as them. You know the saying, misery loves company. Also, for some reason, maybe other empaths have a way of projecting their negative feelings off onto me, making me feel guilty about their problems as well. So there's a lot of common themes here, you guys, where it seems like a lot of people are having trouble with deciphering what is yours and what is not yours to carry, and also protecting your energy and creating boundaries. Come back to that affirmation. Say to yourself, this is not mine to carry. This is not mine to carry. Let that energy bounce off, or in this case, this is something I'm going to dive deeper into the course, because sometimes you do let it bounce off, other times you let it move through you. In this case, it would be one of those bubble examples where anything that is not yours is not allowed in. It's just not. And you have to keep telling that your subconscious, that and your conscious mind, this is not mine to carry, this is not mine to carry. So that you don't always feel responsible for everyone else's sadness. Because if you feel responsible for everyone else's sadness, it is going to be a hard existence, right? Because there are a lot of people struggling in this world, and we can all do our part to help, and we can all be healers, and we can all use our intuition for good, to be intuitive badasses. But it's really important to always reflect on what is mine, what is yours, and then cleanse your energy after. If you do have that experience and it does enter your energy, body, and aura, cleanse your energy afterwards. This can be through a salt bath. That's my favorite. You can also use sage, Palo Santo, crystals, oils to start to cleanse your energy. Melaleuca, aka tea tree oil, is actually the oil of energetic boundaries. It's a beautiful one to put on your skin if you want to bring that boundary out with you into the world, or you could diffuse it at home if you want just like a nice cleansed environment for your home, which I think we all want. I think I saw in the comments a conversation that came up about alcohol too, and I thought that was interesting because I had a psychic tell me a few years ago when I was still drinking. I really, really like wine, you guys. I love some good red wine. I'm such a red wine girl. And I had a psychic tell me that she was like, so you drink coffee and wine? And I was like, yeah. Those are my favorite. And she was like, it's okay, I understand. And she was like, your brother's telling me that you love to get coffee with your boyfriend. It's like a thing for you guys to do together. And it was like this something we would go do together is go get coffee. And she's like, but he's also telling me that you're eventually going to change that habit. And I did. About a year later, I totally resisted that comment. I was like, I don't want to give up my coffee and wine. And then about a year later, I realized how deeply I was affected. My energy was affected by alcohol and coffee. First, I ditched the coffee. That wasn't too hard. But then I ditched the wine, and it was really hard. But alcohol and the caffeine in coffee lower your vibration. Pulling hair out. They lower your vibration. So again, I'm not going to tell you guys to stop drinking your wine or drinking your coffee, but I just want you to be careful, and I want you to be aware of how it makes your body feel, and notice if you feel your vibration lower, if you get sad or depressed, or just feel like you can't tap into your intuition as strong after you've had alcohol or coffee. Cool? So many questions tonight. Sam asked, it's hard to keep my own energy separated from others, ... boundaries. #boundaries. It's a blessing to be able to tap into what someone else is feeling, but I have a hard time keeping myself safe from energy vampires. Sam, I'm just going to actually revert you back up to my answers above, which is use the cleansing suggestions that I just gave, like the bath, the sage, the Palo Santo, Melaleuca oil, so that you are cleansing people. And then also go listen to episode 4 of the podcast to protect your energy as well. I don't drink much any longer, but that makes sense. Yeah. I have hopes that I also don't tolerate sugar, which is another part of it. I hope that in the future I'll be able to tolerate some sugar and maybe have an occasional glass of red wine, because I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But you have to just keep tapping into how does your body feel when you do these things. Okay. So last question is from Paula. Boundaries and not responding aggressively to negative energies or entities. Pulling back to process, recharge. It drains me and my recovery time has slowed down a bit. For example, I came across an energy today that was unfamiliar and my spiritual hackles went up and I was on guard. Instead of my usual impulse, I stepped back and was able to see why I was on my defense. While a good defense is a good offense, I believe I passed the test. I know my purpose is to be a modern day shaman. While I have not gone through the indigenous ceremony, I picked up a book that woke me. Everything I've read makes sense, so to come back full circle, one thing I'm working on is the strength of impulse of receiving a message to decipher who, what, when, where, and why. It's a lot of incoming information where I just know. I have no explanation other than the belief of it being true. And then she said, end essay, LOL. It was a long comment, but it's totally fine, Paula. I'm glad that you shared it with us. So basically, everyone who I just responded to, I need you to join Intuitive Soul School. I need you in this program. I need to be able to have more time to answer these questions and really dive deep with you and then practice with you so you can really feel this. But I think Paula's comment is actually a beautiful point, which is that when you do receive this clear knowing or feeling in your body, how do I explain it? How do I decipher it? How do I figure out the who, what, when, where, why? And I just think that you're going to love Intuitive Soul School, because that's exactly what I'm going to teach you, is how do I decipher the feelings that I receive so that I can use them for the greatest good. And another just note for Paula is to take time to recharge if you do feel like we're kind of like under spiritual attack today. But also know that clear knowing that now I can't remember it, clairvoyance is something that is powerful. And within that, it's just important to know your limits. Like, when is my energy going to become drained versus when is this something that's so much fun for me to experience? Finding that balance. Cool? I just thought of this, but what do you think of Ouija boards? I used to totally play with them when I was younger. I do not have one anymore. I think that as far as I remember, and from when I was a little kid, more than one person put their hands on the Ouija board, right? I think that would be really confusing energetically, because it's like all these energies coming together. So I don't know how that would work. But I also see how it sort of makes sense in that when you use like a pendulum, for example, you're getting a direction that it spins through whatever energy body you're picking up. I've never used a Ouija board for that actual purpose, but I think that a pendulum could sort of be compared to that, and I definitely do pendulum work, which I'll also be explaining for anyone who's interested in Intuitive Soul School how to do that. I'm so excited for this program. So those are all of your questions. There are 3 more days to enroll in Intuitive Soul School, and I will drop the link in the comments here. The first module is going to be about the clairs, so that clairvoyance, that clairsentience, clairaudience. There's actually an olfactory version as well, and the sentience is a feeling, which all of you empaths already have, so know that you already have part of this inside of you. So we're going to talk about the clairs, then we're going to talk about the chakras, because this is the foundation to intuition. I think that it's hard to understand any messages without understanding the clairs and the chakras. Once you understand the clairs and the chakras, and this may be a little bit of a review for you, but I'm going to teach it to you in a different way that you've probably never heard before, because it's very, very specific to how do those things play into, how are they connected to your intuition. Module 2 is all about how to strengthen this intuition, and so through module 1 you're going to figure out what is my strength, and in module 2 we're going to say, okay, this is my strength, and how am I going to actually then up level and tap into this and make it stronger, okay? And then what I love to do is break things down into 1, 2, 3 steps. If you guys take any of my courses, you'll see there's oftentimes either like specific days, specific exercises, specific steps, because I like to make this as simple and easy as possible so it's easy to follow along. Module 3 is all about intuition versus fear, which I've posted about recently. We're going to dive deeper so that you can really understand even more of the conversation on empath versus narcissist, but also intuition versus fear. What is, quote, fake, and what is real and truthful, and how to decipher that in your body and keep connecting to it so that, again, it's stronger and more in alignment. And then you're also going to learn in Module 3 how to protect your energy. We're going to dive a lot deeper than the podcast goes into how to protect your energy. What does it mean to protect your energy? What does that literally look like, feel like, smell like, sound like in your body, all of the sensories. And then in Module 4, we're going to talk about how to utilize your gifts with your intuition and how to put it into action. So you may be someone who does want to be a healer someday. You may be someone who wants to draw oracle cards. You may be someone who has chronic illness and wants to be able to make intuitive decisions about their healing. There's so many ways to actually utilize this, and I'll be teaching you how to do that. And then throughout those 30 days, those 4 modules, we are also going to have small group practice sessions. This is my favorite part. I'm so excited. So during those practice sessions, everyone is going to come together, and we are going to actually practice reading each other's energy. It's going to be so cool. You might be nervous at first. It's totally okay. Everyone's coming to this as a beginner, and we're all coming to this vulnerable and just saying, hey, I want to learn. I'm a beginner. I want to learn. I want to see what's available to me. I want to see what's out there. I'm willing to trust and be open to receive all the messages that want to come through to me. And it's going to be so cool, you guys. So we're going to practice, and then you also have the option to sign up and get an accountability or empath partner, and this person is going to help you even more. You're going to support each other, building that intuition, holding each other accountable throughout the program. It's an optional add-on to the program. There's no extra price, but I know not everyone has the capacity to have that conversation with a partner, so it is up to you if you want to add a partner. I'm going to be matching you up also based on your goals and your interests so that you guys feel aligned with each other. And that's it. You get my support. It's going to be a Facebook group and a portal, and we're going to host the video calls on Zoom. It's going to be so much fun. It's the first time I'm hosting this program, but it's one of the programs that I am most excited to host and create for all of you in Autoimmune Tribe. So I hope you'll join me. 3 days left. If this conversation is one that you love to have, come join us. It's only $111. If you're really stretched and 111 is not working for you this month, email me. Let's make it work. I can't give you a discount, but I can give you a payment plan. So let me know. Let's figure it out. Come join this program. You will not regret it. And I'll see you guys soon.